So very easiest way to do macrame that I know of is literally just really simple knots. So I've got 4 pieces of string here. Because you want, for this way, you want 8 pieces dangling, and I'm just using from my curtain pole to dangle it so I can reach it properly and so it hangs downwards. Because you want 8 pieces dangling, I'm just going to use 4 pieces folded over. And the easiest way to attach this to your circle, which is just a curtain hoop, the easiest way to attach it to your circle is literally just pull through. There's a lot of far more fancy things that you can do, like you can use a hangman's noose and make it far more seamless, but again, easy. This is super simple and the first way I ever did it. So first off, you're going to separate 2 and you're just going to do the super simple granny knot. I think it's called a granny knot. And you're going to pull off 2 at a time and just do them at the same level each time. Now, because I'm using very short strings, or relatively short strings, this is going to create quite a small one. But you know, the longer your string, the more knots you do, the bigger they get, obviously. Right, so literally all that I have done here is do 4 knots all at the same level. If you can see that, they're all at the same point. So you're going to take 2 of that set, you're going to separate 2 of the hanging strings, and that's ones that you're going to, again, just granny knot them together. See? So you're going to go over to, like if I just used these 2, you're going to go to the next knot, separate out those 2 strings, if you can see that. And again, at the same level, you're going to knot them together. So you're starting to end up with that diamond pattern that we're after. Oh, one of my boys isn't quite level, so I'm just going to undo him a little bit, and then tighten him, there we go, back down. It's worth taking your time, but this is honestly so easy. I'm hoping that this video will be a really quick one so I don't have to edit it and make it shorter, because I'm sure there's bits where I'm not talking because I'm just knotting shit. Let's level. So now we have 3 knots. You're going to take the last 2, bring it round, and knot those 2 together at the same point. So we've got a total so far of 8 knots, 4 at one level, 4 at the next, and if I get my arm up in here, you can see that it is essentially a diamond pattern. You can stop here, which will give you just about enough stability for hanging something in, or I like to do at least 3 rows but you can do it for as long as you want. If you went and had, say you had, I don't know, say you folded over rather than 4 pieces, you folded off at 8 pieces, you would have a big one of these and you'd start to build something a bit more like a bag based on it going downwards.
It's the long running joke within all Crash Course histories is that there are some fundamental rules that you learn from world history. You know, you don't no empire grows no empire grows beyond a certain size.
I don't know if you can hear the boys talking in the background, but Bunny is actually doing some D&D prep. I don't know what he's asking John about, but so right now all I'm doing is the same way that I did the first one. I'm just separating out 2 that are next to each other to then give me that diamond pattern. Obviously you can do box knots, you can do things that are far more fancy and look fancier, but this is the basic, like this will give you what you want to hang things up from the ceiling in a pretty net. So I don't know if the camera can see, but I've now got that diamond pattern. Let me do the very last knot on this row and I will grab a pot and show you what that looks like. So right now it is an open tube net type shape. Handy pot. So right now, because it's not finished off, this pot is probably going to fall straight through, which is fine. But you see, you start to get that diamond pattern. And that's how that works. You can now finish that off. I'll just very quickly, you can finish off with just a normal, not as you would normally, the same granny knots that we've been doing the whole way, but I'll just show you very quickly the hangman's knots that I do. Because that gives you a really smooth, professional looking finish. So I'm doing this backwards, so bear with. You point, I've got a separate piece of string. You point that one upwards. And I like to grab its tail in my bottom finger, go up and start wrapping. And this one takes a little bit longer, but it just gives you that really nice finishing tail that looks really pretty whilst it's dangling. Obviously, do as many wraps as you want. I'm just going to finish off there. You've got your loop. Pull through, hold on to this one, and then pull up that. That's going to pull in that loop there. Just straightening out some of my strings, and you're just going to pull on both of those to tighten that one up. That's going to give you that really pretty finishing knot, and you just trim this one at the top off. The bottom one joins in with the rest that you're just going to trim or leave to hang however you want, or hang beads from it. So as very last thing, we can now, because this is a small one, The way to do them for bigger pots traditionally is to leave more space between those 2 rows of knots, and that's going to mean that your netting will stretch further. Essentially, we're making a tube of net. So this guy looks really lovely in there. You can also, I've been experimenting, I've got a cactus in a wine glass, which looks really cute. I actually did my knot around the stem of the glass, and that looks really nice hanging up there. But just for proof of how the sizing works, I've got a classic Magic Mead bottle, which that boy's not as stable as he could be, just because he could, no he can't actually, so he'd probably be fine actually, but I'd be worried about him falling through those open bits at the bottom. But looks really nice as he is. And again, just for example, the bigger Magic Mead bottle, and he has, obviously this one's a little bit short for him, but other than that, this one would be perfect if you just made this top bit a little bit longer before putting him in. And yeah, that's the simplest way that I'm aware of to make macrame. Done. And that took me, according to the computer, well, the phone, 11 minutes.